Most make predictions and then never admit they're wrong. Yeah, that's not Mackie and Judd. This is the place where we just totally own our horrible predictions.
Write this down.
And eat them for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Write that down.
It's Write That Down.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
With Mackie and Judd.
You know, I had someone on social media yesterday say something to the effect of, you can never just admit that you were wrong, Mackie. It's like, well, you just outed yourself. You clearly never listened to the Wednesday episodes of Purple Daily and Mackie and Judd, where we are the only show in America that actually puts statistics next to our predictions, showing you how wrong we are on a regular basis. Today, gentlemen, is the season finale, the 2022 season finale of Write That Down here on Purple Daily, where we will crown, in a dramatic race to the finish, a completion percentage champion and a touchdown pass champion. This is the second full season of Purple Daily Write That Down here. So how are you guys feeling? You guys are kind of, I'm lurking third in the completion percentage. You know, I've got you guys in touchdowns, but how do you feel going into this last accountability session?
I think there's a lot of unknowns here because to go back to the question I asked you yesterday is like, we don't know, like there are Super Bowl predictions and end of the season MVP stuff that's possibly going to come off here. And so to think that last week is just like, okay, last week, those predictions and that's it is flawed. So I was trying to rack my brain for previous predictions. You know, back in July, did I say, Joe Burrow was going to be the MVP? So a lot of unknown about how wrong I might have been.
Yeah, I feel fine. I went down. I went down swinging, and so even if some predictions came off the board from the last few weeks, I feel fine about it. This is why I don't make February predictions in June, because I like to try to remember.
You do like to keep your predictions very close timeline wise. Judd likes to throw them out there like 2 years out,
and in 2025,
I forgot about that.
Joe Burrow will be the quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, you got to go down the road, in my opinion. You got to throw deep.
But then now you're in this boat where you're like, oh yeah, did I forget to make these predictions?
Oh, I'm fine. Oh, I'm fine with that.
We have predictions on the board in Mackie and Judd Write That Down from 7 years ago still that are just lurking out there. Like Judd thinks Arizona State's going to join the Big Ten in hockey at some point.
Yeah.
I have Johnny Manziel will star in a reality show before he plays in the NFL again. Well, neither one of those things has happened, so it's just still sitting out there.
I love that.
By the way, Purple Daily and Write That Down, presented by our friends at TCL, now an official partner of the NFL. No matter what you watch, TCL has award-winning TVs for any budget, any space, all with stunning picture quality. And TCL makes more than just TVs. They offer mobile products, audio devices, home appliances. TCL brings you joy and simplicity through innovative technology. Learn more at TCL.com. So here's how this works in case you're new to these Wednesday episodes. 3 Vikings or football-related predictions, or they can be show-related predictions. You want to predict something about Judd or me or whatever, we can take those on too. The predictions must be quantifiable. We keep track of completion percentage and touchdowns. And listeners, if you want to be like Alec and participate as a guest listener predictor, just send us a message. If you can send it to Declan, he's the organizer of the Write That Down schedule. I am the organizer of the Write That Down statistics and database. Send us a message through the Score North app. So Declan had a 1% lead on Judd going into the week in completion percentage. I had a few touchdown lead on you guys and the listeners in the categories, which is the most prestigious category, by the way. I feel like completion percentage is the one that we've always kind of leaned on, but I tend to personally go for touchdowns and home runs. I want to pump the ball down the field. So I don't know.
It's all in what you like.
I like chunk plays.
I personally like to complete passes, but you know what? If you want home runs, that's awesome.
Well, let's see if you completed.
I did have the Joe Burrow prediction. I was just joking, or I was trying to find an example.
You did literally predict Joe Burrow will be the NFL MVP in 2022.
See? And you know what? Next July, I will do the same thing.
You said Ron Rivera won't be coach of the Commanders in 2023. See, some of these are like blurred end dates, but Ron Rivera didn't get fired at any point over the last 2 months. He is the coach of the Commanders, so we're taking this off the board. Unless you want to protest and ride this out until
no.
Okay.
No, it's fine.
You said this is Bill Belichick's last season as the Patriots head coach.
So is this open for interpretation though? Because
that's what I'm saying. If he gets hit by a bus in August or something.
I mean, I think that one's got to go. I mean, Bill's old. I think that one's got to go on. But
well, I mean, we can take it to the
because
jury
Rivera,
here.
I thought would be fired. Belichick, I could pick about 4 ways that he could not be back next season.
So you think there's still a chance? I mean, if you want to protest this, we will listen to it. Declan, what do you think?
I think the Belichick one has a chance to come off the board still based on about 4 things. Rivera, I was thinking fired, so I that stays.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like we're ending the season.
Conflict of interest here.
So I feel like it has to come off the board.
Well, no, but he is saying if Bill Belichick could still potentially not be the coach of the Patriots, but maybe they make the decision after the draft or something, which I think is highly unlikely.
Or he
that's
or
what
he has
you
health
are.
problems because of age.
Or someone cuts his brakes.
Yeah, exactly.
In a surly hoodie.
See, the way that I worded the Belichick one is much different than the Rivera one, because the Rivera one I thought he'd just straight up be fired.
Let me go in and see here. I'm just curious to what extent this affects the overall standings here, because we do have some of these ambiguous ones where it's like, yeah, he's the coach, but at the end of the day, like, let me do a control F here for Belichick in the database. Sorry to the audience, we've already derailed this with
well, I mean, this is important stuff
with politics.
The audience is on the edge of its seat.
Yeah. I'm going to revisit this at the end, honestly, because I think there's how did Declan spell it? That's the problem. Okay. Okay. Bill Belichick.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay. There it is. Okay. So if we take this one off, I'm just curious. I won't unveil the.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to see
don't spoil
if
just
this
cackle
to what extent
cackle if it would really swing it.
I'm in the database right now. Does this impact one way or the other? Let's see here. It doesn't. It doesn't impact one way or the other. So don't worry about it. Okay, Aiden Hutchinson will be the NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year in 2022. He was not. You did correctly say that the Chiefs would beat the Eagles and Mahomes would be the Super Bowl MVP. So ding, ding, ding. You said Derek Carr will not be with the Raiders next season. They cut him last week. So 2 for 6 for Judd in the last week. Old Macadac was lurking a couple percentage points behind in completion percentage. And look at this week. We'll start with the bad. I said Derek Carr would be traded sometime after the Super Bowl, but before the accountability session, he was cut. But I did tell you guys that Patrick Mahomes would throw a touchdown pass in the first half of the Super Bowl, a rare check down from me. I said the Chiefs would win the Super Bowl. And I said, by today, we will finally get the first Todd McShay mock draft of the 2023 calendar year. And we woke up this morning to a Todd McShay draft on this Wednesday. And we will go over that mock draft later in the show here, too.
Nice week.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, listeners, Dex, I'm going to need you, if you have notes on 2 mystery Mackey predictions from John and Dimitri, to dig those up. Do you not?
Nope. Doesn't look like I do. I have a couple that came off the board with the Hockey Whisperer. I do not have a Dimitri.
Okay, John and Dimitri made mystery Mackey predictions. I can't have them in the database, or I would know what they are.
Second.
We'll let Declan dig for this. Otherwise, John and Dimitri, send your angry emails to Declan and listeners as a whole, because this could alter the scope of Write That Down. Patrick had a parlay. Eagles win and cover against the Niners, and they win and cover in the Super Bowl. They did not. Brian said Justin Jefferson would win the NFL MVP this year. Incorrect. Bill said Jefferson and Cousins would both get at least a vote for MVP. Jefferson did.
Oh, Cousins wasn't a finalist.
Not.
Yeah.
No. And then Valentine said Jefferson will receive 1 AP MVP vote for the 2022 season. That was correct. So we'll come back here to these mystery Mackey predictions unless we can't find them, in which case we'll come up with a better system going forward. Declan said the Chiefs would beat the Eagles by at least 7. Incorrect. He said the Gatorade bath of the winning team would be orange.
Who the hell took purple?
It was purple. There's a plus 700 on it.
Can we be done with that?
No.
I'm tired of the Gatorade. No, I mean your prediction's fine. Can we be done with the Gatorade bath?
Why?
It's
What's
run
wrong
its
with it?
course. It's run its course. Let's find something new.
What would you like to do?
Something new to pour on the coaches?
You know what we should get? The Nickelodeon slime. We could pour that on the coach. I want something new. I'm tired of
How about
confetti
ketchup?
and Gatorade.
What's like a Heinz
Oh,
ketchup?
God, that'd be... You know
What's
what?
wrong with you two?
That's a great idea. Bid this thing out, Phil.
Some barbecue sauce. Andy
Bid
Reid would
this
probably
thing
love
out.
that, actually.
Oh, my God. This is a great idea.
Dude, would Andy Reid could surgically replace his left hand and fingers with like chicken fingers and then just like, comb his whole body of barbecue sauce after the
Buffalo Wild Wings hot sauce as the Gatorade bath. The new Gatorade bath.
Some habanero goes down your pants. Woo! Declan said there will be a brand new Progressive Insurance Becoming Your Parents commercial shown on Super Bowl Sunday. I don't think Progressive had a commercial. I went through like the list of commercials, went through their YouTube channel. I don't think they certainly didn't produce a new Becoming Your Parents commercial.
No.
There is a new one that has started, but it started pre-Super Bowl. I think the one in the elevator where the guy is trying to learn how to ride it without being a dad.
Okay.
I think that's relatively new, but it's fantastic, but it started before Super Bowl.
Yeah. But you did finish the season strong with a touchdown passer. You said Travis Kelce would catch the first passing touchdown from Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. So before I go and show the results here, because look at Declan. He took a step back. Judd, you had a couple of hits.
But you took a step forward.
I took a big step forward.
Yeah, you closed the gap, if not exceeded.
Do we have Mystery Mackey predictions for the listeners, or are they gone forever?
I'm looking for... So Dimitri was on with us in October, and according to the spreadsheet, I'm looking back at the old version. Shout out to Google Docs for being able to do this. He did not make a prediction with us in October on it, and then I think it only goes back to June. So if this prediction happened, it was literally 11 months ago. So we do not have it.
It definitely happened.
Well,
so
for sure it happened.
Dimitri and John, if you guys remember what your Mystery Mackey predictions were,
I do
reach back out to us.
So I'm gonna email both of them and ask.
So this would alter potentially the listeners' completion percentage, but it wouldn't alter.
It wouldn't alter the.
They were
results
buried.
Here. Yep.
Okay.
But I just want to make sure for historical purposes, we want to make sure we got the right numbers. Old Macadac might have added something special going forward.
End of the season. I get it completely. I'm just saying that we're not talking about an altering of the actual standings.
No. And so with that, the 2022 Purple Daily, write that down, completion percentage champion is Declan Goff, the executive producer, making executive predictions. 36% completions over Judd's 35.2. Let's clap for Declan.
Thank you.
Very
Thank
nice.
you.
Yeah, very nice.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Good job. I got it up to 34.1. Listeners at 20.2. And let's hear it for your chunk play master.
Yeah,
none other than the Macadac himself.
He's taking a victory
with 19 touchdowns.
He's taking a victory lap.
Game, JR.
19 touchdowns for me, 16 for Declan, and 11 each for Judd and the listeners. Real quick here, just a smattering of featured touchdown passes from 2022. Just to look back to see some of the big chunk plays down the field. Declan predicted, this is from last year's Super Bowl, that a player would propose on the field at the Super Bowl. And that somehow happened. I don't know if you had like inside information.
No, I just thought it was special and it could happen.
And it did. Listener Hunter predicted that the NFC North standings will finish exactly the way that they did. Vikings, Lions, Packers, and Bears. That was a great touchdown pass by him. I said before the first game against the Packers, the Vikings would essentially blow them out in the first half, having a 3-score lead or more, and they did. And, Judd, you had a nice little touchdown before the season saying Greg Joseph would make a 60-plus yard field goal at some point. So just some highlights there, some home run highlights. And for the first time in Purple Daily Write That Down history, career statistics. Now that we have 2 full seasons under our belt, Declan has the career lead in completion percentage at 35.3 to Judd's 34.9. I'm at 32.2. Listeners at 23.3%. Touchdowns, old Macadac, 33 tuds. Listeners with 27. Declan with 23, and check down Charlie Judd with 18
You know what?
touchdown passes.
I
for his
vow
career.
to have more checkdowns in 23 than I did in 22. I
Oh,
feel like
good.
I
That's
cost
good.
myself by not having enough checkdowns. I'll be
That's
checking the
good.
ball down more.
All right, Alex Smith.
Phillip
the Alex
Rivers.
Smith of Right
Phillip
That Down.
Rivers, golly, I'm going to check it down more.
End of career Phillip Rivers, I think would be. So there it is. We crowned a couple champions. Declan on the completion percentage side, old Macadac on the touchdown side here. Let's get to the first round of 2023 predictions with Alec, our guest listener predictor, coming in hot here. What's going on, Alec? Supporting the Just One Before I Die t-shirt. We appreciate that.
Heck yeah. It keeps getting closer. I turned 33 on the Super Bowl this year, so just keeps creeping closer.
It does, doesn't it? Clock's ticking. Father
Yep.
Time is on your tail, and there ain't no Lombardis in the trophy case in Egan.
Chasing me down.
Yeah. So, all right. So you're 33 years old. You're waiting for a Super Bowl. When did the Vikings first pop on your radar? How long have you been a Vikings fan?
Yeah, so I mean, effectively all my life, born and raised in Minnesota, out here in Colorado now, but 09 was probably the big hook. The season that kind of really took it as close as it could. I remember 98, but I wasn't like the biggest football fan then. I don't remember 41 Donut, anything like that, but 09 with Favre was just a fun season. It was one of my first years in college, so
Yeah.
watching all that with people out here, so.
And now you're hooked. Now you're
Yeah,
on the
hooked
roller
and-
coaster ride.
Yep.
The roller coaster ride of doom every single year here. So we're going to start with Alec. We'll go around the room 3 times, one prediction for each round each. And these are the first predictions of the 2023 Write That Down season. So, Alec, you're first out of the game, man. Go ahead.
Alrighty, I'm coming after the Crusaders with a couple of these. So, first one, Kirk Cousins will win a Super Bowl as a backup quarterback. And I'm going to put a definition on this. He's going to take, basically I'm defining this as he's going to take less than half of the regular season snaps at quarterback for whatever team he wins it with. And we'll put an end date of the 2029 Super Bowl.
Okay. And he will obviously not be the quarterback in the Super Bowl.
Oh, he can be. So he could be the backup, come in week 17 and end up winning the Super Bowl. So I'm kind of covering it on both ends a little bit. But
Okay.
the definition is going to be he'll be the backup quarterback.
I could see him kind of like 40 years old. You know, he's been a backup for a couple of years or something, and Josh Allen goes down with an injury in Buffalo, and here comes old grizzled Kirky boy.
Just
Nick
needs
Foles.
4 games. He's got the team around him.
Yeah, no. I love your prediction. He will be holding a clipboard, though, as the trophy is presented in the little spaceship case that the...
Which is fine. That counts as well. So
Yeah.
All right.
And I love the kicking the can down the road of the prediction. I'm proud of it.
All right, Joe, what's your first prediction of the 2023 Purple Daily Write That Down season?
Okay, I did promise to check down more in 2023, but it's not going to be today yet. My first prediction of the 23 season is we always try to figure out what good teams are going to decline the following season, and just as importantly, what bad teams are going to actually be good. The Denver Broncos will make the playoffs next season.
Yeah, that's good.
With Sean Payton as their coach, that is not a talentless roster. That defense is actually very good. I think Hackett was absolutely awful. Russ was too, but the coach was terrible too. So Sean Payton's damn good. The Broncos will make the playoffs in 2023.
That's a good one. I was going to do that at some point. You undercut me. All right, let's go now to the reigning, defending Purple Daily Write That Down completion percentage champion, Declan Goff.
Thank you very much. First prediction for me. We've been talking a lot about Adam Thielen, where he'll play next season. So I have 3 teams in mind that Adam Thielen will play for. So write this down. Adam Thielen will play for a Florida-based NFL team in 2023. So the Jags, the Dolphins, or the Bucks. Adam Thielen will play for a Florida-based team in 2023.
Yeah, I like that.
Orlando resident
Yeah.
Adam Thielen makes perfect sense since he's really not, since he does not embrace the state like we thought he did previously.
Wow, you're just. I feel
I
like you're on
love his
an
shots.
Adam Thielen slander tour by you over the last 12 months.
No, I'm just here to
He
clarify.
did spend like 3 decades in Minnesota.
Yeah.
and now he's rich, and so he bought a home closer to the
I'm
ocean.
53. Guess where I am? St. Louis Park, Minnesota.
Do you have enough money to buy a $20 million mansion in Orlando?
If I did, I wouldn't move. I love this state so much. In fact, you know what I would do? I would move to Detroit Lakes and build my mansion there, and build erect a sign that says "Home of Adam Thielen and Sports Dad."
All right, write this down. I'm going to say Aaron Rodgers emerges from the darkness, or maybe he has. I don't really know what the darkness timeline is. Is he still in the darkness?
He was on McAfee yesterday, so I think
on camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said he wants to have it filmed too, so I don't think he's technically even entered the darkness yet.
Okay, so sometime this week he's maybe going to enter the darkness. But my prediction is Aaron Rodgers will stay with the Green Bay Packers for the 2023 season. He will stay with the Packers.
Totally see that.
I think he's going to just sort of see the light, if you will, after he emerges. I got some good young receivers, pretty good roster. You know, we weren't that bad last year.
Well, he's trying.
Why go play for the Jets?
And he's trying to be clear that, you know, he has left his options open and is almost reacting to what has come out of Green Bay. So like he'll
ridiculous.
Just say, I wanted to stay.
No, it's like, no, you've been wishy-washy and weird for like 5 years now, and they're reacting to you is what's happening here. And you've, quite frankly, failed in the playoffs. Didn't they lose like 2 or 3 home NFC championship games? Anyhow, back over to Alec, your second prediction, sir.
All right, one more shot at the Crusaders here. Kirk Cousins will have his worst statistical season as a Viking in these 4 categories. Least amount of touchdowns and lowest completion percentage, most sacks and interceptions.
Wow.
I was going to do yards, but he had like a 3,600-yard season one of these years, so I'm not going that way.
What's your thought process here? You just think like age, erosion? What do you think is the downfall from
age? And I think he's going to be kind of the opposite. My hope is that they don't extend him. This is going to be his last year, and that he actually breaks under that pressure and doesn't step up to try to prove he can get another contract. And it kind of goes the opposite of those guys on that last year going, I'll show you guys and get that next contract. He actually is going to wilt under that.
So you're almost rooting for like a short-term bump in the road for the Vikings for long-term gain, it sounds like.
Yes, I would actually, like, last year for me was actually kind of, I actually didn't, as much as I enjoyed them being 13-4, I actually think it was a step back because they kind of they could have been at least middle of the pack and gotten, like, they probably shouldn't have been 13-4. And probably have a higher draft pick this year. But, yeah, I'm kind of hoping for a little bit of a step back, especially going into 2024. We'll have a full complement of draft picks, hopefully. So,
yeah, interesting. All right, Joe, what's your second prediction?
All right. Write this down. Brett Favre's defamation lawsuit against Pat McAfee will be dismissed.
Yeah.
It's never going to see the light of day in court. The whole thing is just nonsense. So it might take I shouldn't say it might, it's the law. It will take a few months, but that lawsuit will be outright dismissed.
Is it kind of sad that he's going out like this? He's just,
well, he's suing the state.
He's always been a questionable guy, like even going back to his Green Bay days. But
Right.
I don't know. The whole thing is he's basically like you can't even like put him on TV anymore at this point. Not that he was even that. I thought he would be
wasn't that
better
good
on TV.
Yeah,
he
can't
rambles too much.
He can't shut up. But he's suing what? He's suing Shannon Sharp. He's suing McAfee, and I think he's suing the state. So good for him.
Good
you
luck.
Go
Brett.
for it, Brett.
Good luck with that.
Good for him.
You go
All right,
for
Dax.
it.
All right, I'm gonna hop on Alex train here on Kirk Cousins. So write this down. The Vikings will trade Kirk Cousins this offseason.
Wow.
And
the
trade will include a conditional pick. So the parameters of the trade, there'll be a conditional pick in the Kirk Cousins trade to whomever. But that is my prediction.
So if he gets traded for just a straight up pick, you are
I will
incorrect
lose.
on this. You're putting yourself out there. Wow.
This is true.
Do you, off the record, do you have any teams in mind?
Yeah, well, of course, we have San Francisco. That's an option. The Jets, I still think, could be in play here.
They tried to sign him 5 years ago. Different
Exactly.
cast of characters running the organization now, but
He'll block a trade there.
Oakland, I think he'd block
that.
it, but I could see the Raiders there. Maybe Maybe the Colts.
The only way this really happens, I think, first of all, you'd have to, the Vikings would have to say, we're not going to extend you. We're going to play the last year and then see what happens. He would have to get offended by that.
Yep.
Be open to a trade. And then the Vikings would have to basically let Kirk and the agent do the trade shopping, right? And the contract shopping.
Yes. That's
really the only way. You would almost put it in control of Kirk and his agent. But I also don't think you would do it unless you had your quarterback of the future. So this almost feels like something that if the draft plays out funky and the Vikings draft Anthony Richardson or something, then the writing is on the wall and Kirk would have to decide, okay, I didn't get my extension. Do I want to play out the last year of my contract knowing that my replacement is sitting behind me, or would I rather just go play for the 49ers? So if this happens, it might be like a post-draft thing. Don't you guys think?
I disagree. I think if it does happen, it'll probably be within the next 5 to 6 weeks. I don't think it'd be post. I think it would be before the draft, and then way both teams can kind of prepare of how they want to go at the draft. So no, I completely disagree with you. I think it'd be in the next 5 6 weeks.
Does he have a roster bonus here? I should know this. I'm just going to pull up his contract. Because if he has because he's had that in the past where there's there's a date where you have to, Danielle Hunter had that last year, where you have to make this decision. I'll check on that, but I like the boldness here. Okay, write this down. I'll give you a Derek Carr prediction again. Derek Carr will sign with the Carolina Panthers.
Oh.
I think the Panthers are kind of done with the young quarterback thing. Just keep boosting up your roster and go get a professional quarterback for and off the record. I think Derek Carr is not going to be a $40+ million contract, is my guess. So Derek Carr to the Panthers. All right, we're back to Alec here for your third and final prediction.
Yep. All right, one more, last one. Not a crazy prediction, but draft prediction. The Vikings end up making 4 or fewer, or 8 or more picks in the draft. So basically, just not 5, 6, or 7.
Okay. So
8 or more. I like this. Actually.
Love it, man. Alec, great stuff here. Way to kick off the 2023 season here for the listeners. Since you have this life-changing platform right now, is there anyone you'd like to thank that brought you to this pinnacle moment?
Well, my wife, of course. I probably watch way too much sports for her liking, but she lets me do it, so it's always a good time. And then you guys get a lot of hate, but you guys bring a lot of realistic takes and ideas to the table, and you're right more often than not. Maybe not right away, but a lot of the stuff you guys say does come to fruition, at least at some point. So
awesome. Well, thank you. We appreciate that. Your check is in the mail for those kind words.
Of course.
And we'll get you on again sometime, man. Appreciate
Thanks,
it. All right, there he is. Guest listener predictor, Alec. I am, just for fun here, we haven't done a full examination of the what if they trade Kirk kind of contract discussion, but just for fun, off Declan's prediction, if they were to trade him before June 1st, they would save about half of the $36 million. So they would save about $18 million in cap space before June 1st. So it is realistic. Now this is what I wonder. He does have a $20 million roster bonus that is due to kick in on March 23rd. So actually, it's $15 million that kicks in on the 23rd, and then $5 million that kicks in if he's on the roster for Week 1 of the 2023 season. So does that once we get, I don't know, Judd, if you have any thoughts on this, but once that $20 million kicks in, does that make it? Then the Vikings essentially have to eat that, right? Or they could convert some to a signing bonus without even asking him and spread it out, but. I just wonder about that roster bonus and the cap ramifications, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have – I think your original point is right, which is unless they had a clear-cut quarterback plan, I don't see this taking place. And so it certainly doesn't appear right now unless they pull a huge surprise that they do. And they would have to get up in the draft, and I don't see with their current picks – how they're going to do it realistically. So
if
I
they
think
were
you're probably right.
If they were to do a post June 1st trade of Kirk Cousins, they would save $30 million in cap space for the 2023 season. But obviously, if you wait that long, free agency has kind of passed you by. So you would then maybe what you would then be doing is then you would just eat Harrison Smith's cap hit. Maybe you would eat Adam Thielen's cap hit, and you would just get all these out of the way in 2023 because you'd have more space.
The first question that we don't know yet, but should become very, very clear soon is, do they plan to extend him again short term?
Yes, this is all going to be...
that becomes the most important question. And my guess is that the rumblings about that start in a couple weeks of the Combine.
Yeah. All right, Judd, what is your third and final prediction?
Gopher center John Michael Schmitz, who is being mocked more and more in the first round off an outstanding Senior Bowl, will indeed be a first-round pick.
Okay.
I don't think he's getting out of the bottom of the first round now.
Yeah, he's I think what might happen at the Combine is there's a couple other centers that are going to be a little bit more appealing from a measurement standpoint once you get into some of the drills, and so he'll have to sort of, right now he's being mocked in the first round, but then if there's like two other centers that, oh my God, look at how agile that guy is, he could fall to like second or third, but if he could perform pretty well at the Combine, yeah, he's probably a late first round pick. Declan, what is your third and final prediction?
I also have a Derek Carr prediction. You did not completely snipe it, so this helps. So write this down. Derek Carr will sign with an NFC South team. NFC South team. Write it down.
Saw the Saints restructured one of their cornerbacks or one of their safeties this morning to go from $58 million over the cap to $52 million over the cap.
Yeah.
So every year the Saints are like, oh, God.
I think I'm playing for Frank Reich in Carolina before I'm playing for, what is it, Dennis Allen with the Saints, who's a defensive guy first.
Yeah, I agree.
Frank Reich would be, I think he's appealing to play for. Like, I mean, the Carson Wentz thing went pear-shaped. I get that, but I think I'd prefer that. I don't know that the Saints are necessarily on the right track. I might be totally wrong, but
yeah. The Falcons also have, I think, like $56 million in cap space, so they got money to throw around as well too.
All right, I'm gonna hunt down the field here. All right, write this down. The first player drafted in the 2023 NFL Draft will be Will Levis.
Okay.
I think you're going to see throughout the Combine process, I think you're going to see a shakeup in how the quarterbacks are perceived a little bit, and I think someone's going to trade up to get Will Levis. Well, I mean, I guess the Bears could trade Justin Fields and do it themselves, but Will Levis will be the number 1 overall pick in the 2023 NFL.
I feel like Macadac's been hitting on his sources, trying to unearth the draft.
What do you mean?
What? I'm complimenting you. I'm not ripping you.
Well, I should say, like, I'm sick of trailing you guys in the completion percentage race, but at the same time, I'm happy to keep hunting for home runs. So if I can use my sources to help me get home runs, even if there's a low percentage chance of it hitting, I'm fine with that.
Sounds good to me.
All right. So those are the write that down predictions for the first week of the 2023 season. Let's get through this McShay mock here in a second, presented by our friends, Judd, at Livia, helping all kinds of Purple Daily listeners and viewers lose weight and change their lives.
Starting with me, a year plus ago, I started on the program, dropped 40 pounds. And here's the most important thing. It's not a diet plan, okay? So it's not a quick fix. So they didn't just help me drop the weight and then I got done and I'm like, I'm free to gain all the weight back, which we've done before. They're dietitians and the helpful people at the center have played a key role in me maintaining that weight loss. And that's the most important thing. And I've talked to folks who have gone on this program or from the PD family who have said the exact same thing, which is this is a viable program and is weight control. It's not a diet. And right now, here's the best part, 50% off. When you contact them, mention Judd from Score North told me to contact you and I want the Judd plan, which is 50% off the program. You're going to get that. That's going to be your start on a weight loss journey that I guarantee you is going to be successful. 855-GO-LIVIA, livia.com, LIVEA.com. This works. It's effective. And best of all, by summer, you're going to be feeling great. Livia.com.
You guys want to mock here?
Let's do it.
All right.
I want to mock.
Let's hit this. Todd McShay's first mock draft of the 2023 calendar year. The Todd father of mock has spoken. He has a trade for the number 1 overall pick. It's hot off the presses on ESPN.com. So, a few times a week, we are bringing you mock drafts from around the mockosphere. And we're calling it the Score North Mock Draft Roundup. We're doing it on Purple Daily, on Mackie and Judd. We're combining it all into a pool here. We've done 12 of these so far, 7 cornerbacks to the Vikings. So most of the mocking platforms think they're going to draft a cornerback. There's been a couple others. There's been a linebacker in there, receiver, Judd's guy, John Michael Schmitz from Draft Blaster going to the Vikings at 23. Let's see what the Todd father says about the Vikings. We'll start with the number 1 pick. Projected trade. The Indianapolis Colts trade up from 4 to number 1 to select Bryce Young as their new franchise quarterback.
All right.
Todd McShay is projecting, and he's kind of spitballing here, but that it would be like a number 4, number 1 swap. The Bears would get a second-round pick, and then maybe like a 5th and a future first in 2024.
Very fair.
Okay. And they move back to 4. So then the Texans draft C.J. Stroud, number 2.
Okay.
The Cardinals draft Will Anderson Jr., number 3. And the Bears get the guy that they're projected to get anyways, Jalen Carter, the interior defensive lineman from Georgia, while picking up a bunch of extra draft assets. All right, Seahawks take Tyree Wilson, defensive end, Texas Tech. We'll skip around here a little bit. There's Will Levis to the Raiders at 7. Anthony Richardson to the Panthers at 9. So 4 quarterbacks in the first 9 picks.
Interesting. But he's so he has the Kentucky kid falling to 7, though.
Yeah.
Will Levis, that's really interesting. Okay.
All right, we're going to keep going down here. First receiver off the board to the Texans at 12 here, Quentin Johnston from TCU.
Okay.
Joey Porter Jr., cornerback, Penn State, to the Patriots at 14. The Notre Dame tight end to the Packers at 15. Little run on cornerbacks here. Devin Witherspoon and Christian Gonzalez, 16, 17. Another cornerback here to the Lions, Kelly Ringo from Georgia. So a bunch of cornerbacks coming off the board before it even gets to the Vikings. Into the 20s here, another cornerback, Cam Smith, to the Chargers at 21.
Okay. Now, it sounds to me, unless you've skipped past this, a ton of cornerbacks are gone.
Yes.
But wide receivers.
Only one off the board so far.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've not looked at this, by the way.
Let's start with the
purposely
Ravens.
did not look at it. Yep.
The Ravens right before the Vikings, taking Bijan Robinson, the electrifying running back from Texas.
Okay.
And that puts the Vikings on the clock. Todd McShay, the Todd father of mock. With the number 23 pick, the Minnesota Vikings select out of the University of Southern California, wide receiver Jordan Addison. Come on down.
Hold on a second. I like this.
Oh,
one.
get the flag for Justin Jefferson's Robin.
Yep,
We found Justin Jefferson's Robin with the 23rd overall pick. Sorry, my button bar's not set up. I don't know where.
There it is. I found it. There it is. There
I'll
you
wave it again. There you go. Woo! Justin Jefferson dancing in the streets. He's grittying in the streets.
He's grittying. Here's the write-up from Todd McShay. Adam Thielen entering his age 33 season, so Minnesota could take the best player available here, get a speedy, instinctive running mate for Justin Jefferson. Addison put up huge numbers at Pitt in 2021, 1,600 receiving yards, then transferred to USC and was a stud. For those wondering why the Vikings would sidestep their defensive needs, it really comes down to the way the board played out. Texas A&M safety Antonio Johnson or Arkansas linebacker Drew Sanders might fit, but this is still early to draft both. And I don't think they're drafting a safety in the first round if Harrison Smith sticks around, Lewis Cine playing in Brian Flores' system.
No way.
And remember, free agency still lies ahead, ... insinuating they could fix the defense, go get a veteran cornerback, 26-year-old cornerback, go get a linebacker. I love the idea of drafting Jordan Addison or just any of these like top 2 or 3 if Quentin Johnston falls there, because now you've got 5 years of a rookie scale contract, Robin, next to your Batman, Justin Jefferson, who for another 2 years is on a rookie scale contract, but then the $30 million deal probably kicks in a couple years from now. So, all right.
Well, and if all those corners are gone, why not?
Yes. Don't take the
don't
sixth
force
cornerback.
it.
Yeah.
You know.
And now the run on receivers here. Jackson Smith and the Jigba, Ohio State to the Jags, who, by the way, get Calvin Ridley back, I think, next year. Calvin Ridley wound up with the Jaguars. And then the Giants take Zay Flowers from Boston College. So this is kind of the receiver run. But
I love that name.
Interesting.
Flowers.
Zay Flowers?
Great football name.
It's a great name, yeah. So, all right, boys, there you go. The Todd father has the Vikings drafting a wide receiver.
I'm glad he finally weighed in, and I'm glad he's making trades.
Yeah, you can't not make a trade for the number 1 pick unless there's some steam that says the Bears are going to trade Justin Fields and it opens up the possibility.
And then tell me what that is too. Like if you're going to have the Bears staying at 1, then mock me a Justin Fields trade.
Yeah.
Like don't give me this crap. Mock me that, Batman.
Oh my God.
Declan, congratulations.
Thank you.
Nice work,
Declan.
Declan.
Did I win last year? Did I win the purple? Did we crown one last year?
Oh yeah, we did. So
yeah.
Sometimes my memory is short here, but last year, Declan, in 2021, you actually Judd edged you 34.56 to Declan's 34.53.
That's right. There was a 10th, 100th.
I'm coming back after my title. I'm going to tell you that. Congratulations right now. I'm coming back after my title in 2000.
I got 2 ears plugged right now with both Write That Down champions in my
sleep with one eye open.
Can't hear you.
Well, we will do the official crowning of Declan on the traditional Write That Down on Mackie and Judd, unless he's going to blow an 80-point lead in the last week, which seems mathematically unlikely.
It feels like Declan's traditional Write That Down, though, is very much a microcosm of the Vikings 2022. Not sustainable. Like a lot of like he won. They won 11 games by one touchdown.
Shots being
by one
fired
score. I feel like that one's not. I feel like the Write That Down gods are going to bite you right in the rear end in 2023.
Yes.
But
the Chiefs, the Kansas City Chiefs are going to regress. You know, there's been overachieving for the last year.
No, I feel like your football one is totally legit. I feel like you got a lot of luck on.
I feel like you sound like old man yelling at clouds, saying these young people with technology and these predictions. These young people don't know how they don't know work ethic.
I'm giving him credit for football. I'm just saying I feel like he got a lot of luck.
He's saying my BAPIP, Judd, my batting average on balls in play is unsustainable to my actual batting
average.
I think
that's what I'm saying for this traditional.
I will tease this for Mackie and Judd. Old Macadac spent way too much time last night. In addition to the all-time Purple Daily completion percentage statistic now that we have, Old Macadac has an all-time, like literally over the course of 5 years, and Declan's been part of this for 3. We have all-time batting averages starting today on Write That Down.
Nice.
Digging through at midnight spreadsheets last night from the last few years.
Oh my God.
And so we'll see if Declan, if it was a fluke or if maybe there's a trend here. Maybe we're looking at the Mike Trout of sports predictions.
Just to be clear that I am not old man yelling at clouds. 2 years ago, I had the BAPIP thing. Like I had this incredible run. It wasn't sustainable.
I love Judd just lashing out here.
I'm not lashing out. I'm telling you about reality. Declan put it perfectly. It's why the metrics help us.
All right, we got to go. We'll see you over on the season finale of Mackie and Judd. Write That Down as well. Thanks for hanging out with us. Purple Daily Vikings Entertainment.